I already knew that. But the reason I ask is because I want to ask this next question. How many of you guys are still in prison? Yeah. I like the honesty because that's how I felt after 17 years. You know, I'll give you a little backstory, guys. You know, West Side kid, grew up, drug addict dad, drug addict mom, the whole deal. Dad liked to sell drugs, mom liked to do drugs, you know the story. You know, Adobe Mountain for a couple years, you know, all that. I don't know if you guys remember the ranch, did Scared Straight, did all that stuff. I did the whole gamut. I did shock treatment, did all that stuff. And then did 17 years. I got out February 28th, to be 8 years. February 29th, it was leap year, the year I got out, I started working for $15 an hour under the table, working for my brother as a plumber. No plumbers in the valley are making $15 an hour, just for your guys' information. They all make between $20 and $45, $50 an hour. But I never had done plumbing. I'd never done it. I was just kind of winging it, guys. And the way I winged it was, I did exactly what my dad taught me when I was a kid. I went to work every single day with a smile, whether I liked it or not, and I worked like I was making $115 an hour. And I did that until I was making $115 an hour, and that's the short story, guys. There was a lot of digging and a lot of fuck my boss and a lot of fuck this and fuck that and fuck life in between there. So we'll get this started. So that's kind of my backstory, guys. I was a drug addict. I like to steal everything. I like to rob people. That was one of my pastimes, believe it or not. And I like to hurt people, man. I like to the guys that had the guns, I would go and take their guns and all that that was my thing. I loved it, you know what I mean? And I loved the violence in prison. I loved it all, guys. And I realize now that all that violence is what it took for me to become who I am today. Peaceful, I love my wife, I'll die for my wife, that kind of thing. It took a lot of violence to get there though, guys. And we've all seen the violence. So that part's over, right? And we let a lot of people down. Who let people down and who hurt people leaving and going to prison? Honest truth. So the guys that aren't raising their hand, women that aren't raising their hand, didn't leave anybody behind, hurt anybody, disappoint anybody or anything. Well, the people that did raise their hand, I'm going to tell you right now that you guys know how to do that. Now let's figure out how to do it the other way, right? And you know, that was I'm a pretty stubborn guy, you know. That was hard for me to take accountability for what I was doing, you know. I spent a lot of time worrying about me, you know. And as you guys should right now, this is the time. This is the time to do that. But there's a difference in the way we were worrying about ourselves before we went to prison and the way we should worry about ourselves now, right? And we'll get to that. I have a saying that I tell people all the time, it's easier going in than it is getting out. Who agrees with that? It's the truth, guys. I got out, I had freaking post-incarceration PTSD. You know, these guys that know about psych and all this stuff can tell you more about it. I'm not a doctor, but I did start a nonprofit when I first got out. And we did a lot of studies with the U of A and the criminal science class there, and the psychology students did a bunch of. I had all these convicts going in there, and every single one of them had one thing in common. They were all badasses. They were all badasses. They were you know, gangbangers that you guys know from prison, gangsters that you guys know from prison with all the cool tattoos. You guys all know them. You saw them on the yard. They're the guys that sit at the back tables and all that good stuff, sitting and crying in these meetings, these group meetings. And they determine that we leave there and we have PTSD from that place, you know. And I struggled from it, guys. I struggled from it. But I never stopped doing my workout, and my medicine was good. You know, the medicine was strong. The workout. The workout's been my medicine for a long time. But as I got out, you know, I started realizing that there's a space between what's happening and how I respond to it, right? You know, am I stressing out? Am I having that PTSD? Who's had that? Who's had that weird stress that they can't explain? Let's really test you guys. How many of you men have just started crying because you're fucking scared, confused, anxious? How many of you guys have done that? Because you just fucking don't know what the fuck to do right now, right? I'll raise my hand. I was that guy. And you know what? Sometimes I still go through this shit 8 years later. I got a beautiful home, beautiful wife, beautiful new baby, very, very, very lucrative businesses. And I still go through it, guys. But The thing between what's happening and how I respond is my freedom of choice. I have the freedom to say, okay, do I go out and drink? Do I rob? Do I do what the fuck I know how to do? Do I do what I always did? Well, no, obviously I don't, because I'm still free, right? And so, and you know, and it takes accountability to do that, right? Because we don't have to take accountability for things that we're sneaking around doing, right? Because we're sneaking around doing them. We go rob somebody, we don't want anybody to know that we robbed them except for the person we robbed or whatever. Or we go drink and we do stupid shit, cheat on our old lady, don't show up to work, don't do all that. Then the responsibility is on you to suffer the consequences, guys, right? And responsibility is a pretty cool word. It's your ability to respond to things, right? That's what the word means. Your ability to respond to things. Like if I come here and I tell you guys my story, and I will, because that's what I do. I talk and I save people's lives. Like I've had guys come out of here. There's guys that work for me, came out of this class 1 year ago and did $201,000 in income from the day they left here till I just gave them their W-2s, W-4s or whatever so they could do their taxes. I looked at it, I was like, holy fuck. I paid this guy that much money. And you know what he did? He had an opportunity, so the thing that was happening, and he gave a response. And his response was solid, you know? His response was solid. It was exactly what it needed to be, you know? So guys, I'll always go back to this. Work with a smile, like you love it, whether you hate it or not. Work like you're making $115 an hour, and someday you will. You know, be in a trench, be down in a dirty ass septic tank with shit all over you. I've done that many times, you know. I haven't even looked at what I make in 3 years, guys. I don't even know what my own income is in 3 years, and I still get down in septic tanks with my guys and get shit all over me. And you know, because it's just like, fuck yeah, I'm free. I am free, and I can do what the fuck I want because I've earned it now. Got my gun rights back, got my voting rights back, got all my rights back, guys. Got all that stuff back. You know, I've always been a gun guy. I got $100,000 worth of guns. You know, got this nice little man cave that I built around them, you know, with safes and all this cool shit, and all the toys and stuff like that, the Harleys and all that stuff. Got all that stuff I never had in my life. I grew up on, you know, counting pennies on welfare. And the way that I did it, guys, I'll go back to it. Worked like I was making $115 an hour until I got there. And when I got to $115 an hour, I just worked like I was making $1,015 an hour. So I'll give you my current story. I own 3 plumbing companies, an HVAC company, a contracting company, and I own a home concierge company now that I haven't told you about, Speedy, but I told you I was going to do it, and I've been doing that, and I'm starting to market that. Writing a little book on how to get out of prison the right way, and that's challenging for me because I don't want to take it lightly, right? Just like I don't take coming here lightly. I just left the gym. I came straight from the gym to here, and I oftentimes use the things that I learn in the gym. I go to MMA Lab, and if you guys ever get the chance, please go there and train. Because if you guys ever thought you knew how to fight, you're wrong. Those guys know how to fight. They're the best in the world, and I oftentimes use what I learned in there to explain how we're doing this stuff out here, guys. And I talked to JT about it a little bit. JT knows a little bit about fighting and this and that. And what the MMA Lab teaches you to keep from getting punched in the face is pretty simple, guys. They teach you a thing that's called a parry. And who's boxed before? Who knows how to box? So boxers know what a parry is, and a parry is just a little slap. You know, it keeps you from getting punched. You know, and you don't move a lot, because if you move a lot, you might get hit, right? So you just slap a punch away, and you slap a punch away, and you parry until it's your turn, right? And then what do you do? You might slip and then throw a hook or something, you know. But the parry, to me, is exactly what we do when we first get out, right? Because if we do too much, we might get hit, right? So the parry's safe, right? The parry's safe. Get your driver's license, a little bit of a parry, right? You're just keeping from getting hit, right? Get your social security card. You have to have it if you come to my company and I hire you. You know what I mean? So that's a parry, right? So get that stuff. Get through this class. That's a parry, right? Now you're starting to posture up because now you're out of this class. Land a good job. Now you're setting up the punch, guys, right? You're setting up the punch. Prove yourself. Get the promotion. Like Richard, who we were just talking about, that came out of here and made $200,000 in one 12-month period. Think about that for a second, guys. Think about that for a second. He came out of here and said, man, I don't know how to do this shit. And I said, me neither. That's fucking great. Let's learn this shit together. You know, so he made $200,000 this year. I was just talking to him the other day. He just signed a contract with one of my customers for $348,000 this morning. He'll do that job and he'll get 25% of it. I don't even know, I can't do the math real quick, but I mean, you know, you guys know how much 25% of 348,000, it's a lot, you know. He'll probably do that job in a month, and that's going to be his monthly income, you know, for February, you know. So that's pretty neat. And that's how we pay the guys, and yeah, it's a great career, man. You know, and he's working out a house with a helicopter and everything, and they'll fly us to one side of the mountain and all this different shit. It's neat, you know. Billionaire people, you know, you see some weird shit go on in those places, and you meet some cool people. But so back to the Perry, guys. You know, I got out and $15 an hour, working my ass off, going through the PTSD stuff. You know, I'd go to the gym. That's a little Perry, right? Because I was stressing or I had anxiety, I would have to parry. I had to parry, and I was on my heels. I was on my heels because my reaction, and has been since I was little, has always been to say, fuck everything. Fuck everything and everybody. I don't give a fuck. And that's what it was, you know. And now I had to do the little stuff to set up for the punch, right? So let's say last time I was in here, we were talking about this, and a guy said, hey, I just bought a paint sprayer and I'm going to start doing some side work. That's a punch, guys. And let me tell you why it's a punch. Because the guy invested in himself. He went off, and I don't know, last time I bought a paint sprayer, we bought two of them, and it was, I think, $2,800 for two of them. They weren't real nice ones, but when I bought a couple of those, you know, that's a lot of money. Whatever he paid for it, it's probably a lot of money to him. You know what I mean? You know, I would argue that probably $100 is a lot of money when you're first getting out of prison, you know. I had $151 when I got out, and no place to live, you know, that type of thing, you know. And so $100 was a lot. You know, I was worried, should I buy toenail clippers and fingernail clippers, or should I buy one that I can do both with? That's the shit I was worried about when I got out, you know. And my brother's like, fucking slow your roll, dude. Fucking just work. Don't worry about it. Get underwear, pants, work boots, and t-shirts, man, and you'll be all right. And I am. And I still have the same underwear that I had 8 years ago, guys. I'm working on it, you know. I'm working on it. But listen, you know, there's something that I do that I want you guys to try real quick, and it's a little. I know you guys are probably looking down here at me and like, who the fuck is this dude? Fuck this dude, right? I'm gonna tell you right now, I was absolutely fucking nothing the day I got arrested. Nothing to this world. I was a negative in this world. A negative. I was a taker. I was a drainer. And now these companies have, bought me $1 million home on a mountain, provided for my kids and grandkids, unlimited. I never have to say no to myself or anybody again. It's unlimited. JT's worked with me. What do I always say? We were working for a lady. Doing some work. And by the way, if you guys learn how to do shit the way he does it, you guys will make a fucking lot of money. I'm telling you, I got painters. Me and him have talked about it. I've done painting for the last 7 or 8 years. And, my painting side is probably maybe done, a couple $100,000 a year. It's not a big whole thing. I don't do a lot of painting, but if you do it like he does it, you'll make a lot of money, guys. He's a fucking professional. And everybody that I had on that job was very impressed with what he did. But my point in that is that we talk about the money. We talk about, hey, should I step over this line to pick something up? Well, we should charge for that. And the reason you should charge for that, guys, is because time is the stuff that costs, and time is the stuff that pays. Okay? If you lose it, go to prison, fucking waste it, sitting on Facebook, wasting it. You don't get it back, it costs. If you step over the line, pick the thing up and charge for it because it's your time and you value it, then it makes you money. It pays you, right? People think that getting paid's a dirty word. You know, people say, I always love when people say money doesn't buy happiness. People say it all the time. There's a guy that said that once, however many hundreds of years ago or whatever. That motherfucker was broke. There's no fucking way that guy had money and said, money doesn't buy you happiness. The caveat to that is, some of us as convicts aren't people that ever get happiness. Now let me explain myself, guys. Let me explain myself. I grew up a very dark person. I don't feel the happiness and all the weird feelings all the time. I'm not that guy. When people cry, I'm just like, okay, all right, I know what it means and everything, and I cry. I cry because I have uncontrollable fucking shit going on from fucking all the shit I've done to myself. But some of us aren't going to get happiness. So if you guys are coming out here and you're like, oh, I just want to be happy. Well, if you're not the person that gets happy, you'll be looking for that forever. And so people might argue this. People that are in therapy, bullshit, and psych, and do all this other shit might argue this shit with you. They might argue this shit with me. But I can tell you right now that I know other people like me, and I don't chase happiness. I chase success. I chase to serve. I put myself in positions to serve you guys, myself, my family, poor people, rich people, fucking whoever. I serve. You know, men were built to serve. Just men in general are built to serve. You know, take care of women, take care of our women, take care of the women in the world, babies, you know, that kind of stuff. That's 1,000 years ago, that's what we were doing, and we still have it in our blood to do it today, guys. So when you guys wake up in here and you guys are sad, or you guys feel not happy, some people would argue that there is only one of those, right? Is it not happy, or do you have sadness injected into your life? I say it's not happy. Do something. Like, get your not happy ass over to your bed and make it. Or do your burpees. Who was on the burpee program? Who actually did them? Who cheated? Who cheated? So look, guys, I still do mine. Who still does them? Good. You still do your burpees? Look. I look at the burpee situation, and I've analyzed it because I've been saying do your burpees to guys, and then I was like, maybe I should fucking think twice about telling these guys this, because it's kind of fucking institutionalized in a way, but in a way, burpees is something way bigger than showing up out there on the basketball court to your individual groups, you know how we did it, and you got this guy, probably the yard boss, you know what I mean, and that was me at one point. Every yard I went to, I managed to make my way into the fucking get out here and work out, motherfuckers. 25 and younger better be on the fucking court and all this other bullshit, right? Well, look, when it's all said and done, all I wanted them to do is commit to me. I don't care how good a shape they get into, right? Because it's every man for himself when it's all said and done. But I wanted to see the commitment, right? Who went out there because of commitment to their group? Who went out there because they were committed to themselves? And that's possible. You could do both, right? Out here, if you wake up, silently do your burpees in that corner right there. It's just you and you, right? And guess what? When you commit to you, who do you let down when you fuck up? But if you're committed to you would never fucking let yourself down, right? You're committed, right? That'd be like fucking telling your grandma, fuck off. Nobody's going to do that. Right? So when you commit to you, and you really commit, 7 days a week I do 123 burpees. That's my commitment to me. I do them, and sometimes the only thing that I do differently from day to day is sometimes I do them slower. Because February 2nd I'll be 50, guys. So give me a little bit. You know what I mean? Sometimes I do them a little slower because I'm fucking tired, you know? And then I think to myself, Maybe I should do more because I'm doing them slower. And that's my commitment to me, you know? That's my commitment to me. So who has the discipline to give themselves, and I'm not saying you guys have to do burpees. I think you should. It's a great workout, and it's a great commitment. It's the hardest thing you'll do all fucking day. You do it first thing in the morning. Like, I literally go in my kitchen and my wife's like, God damn, every time you do that, you get your greasy ass feet on my floor. And so I do, sometimes I do them in the kitchen. Sometimes I fucking do them in the baby's room, you know, because fucking the baby's sitting there staring at me all weird. Whatever the case may be. But I have to go do them because I'm committed to myself, right? And if I'm not committed to myself, I mean, I'm sure my wife is, and I know she is, right? And people that know her know that she's that one. You know what I mean? She's that committed person. She's that loyal person. But it's like this, guys. You know for a fact that there's one person committed to you if you're doing something like that. It doesn't have to be burpees, guys. It could be anything. Meditation. I do that as well. My meditation is a lot different nowadays. I talked to JT about it. I am going to talk to Speedy about it, but Speedy's old, and I don't want Speedy to end up dying. So my new meditation is every single morning at 4 o'clock in the morning, right before I do my burpees. I go in my underwear to the top of my mountain. I built myself a platform up there with a big, huge freaking horse trough full of ice. And I go up there and I do breathing and meditation. And then I get in 34-degree water and I just sit there. And I think about you guys, and I think about me, and I think about my day. And I sit there for 6 minutes until I can't move my limbs or anything. And then I get out, and in my underwear, no matter if it's raining or fucking what the fuck's going on, I do my burpees up on that platform. Or if I'm just totally froze the fuck out, I go down to my gym in my garage and I fucking do my burpees in the garage. That's my commitment to me. So enough about burpees. You guys know the deal. So a little bit of homework, guys. So you guys all have mirrors in your room? Are they fucking glass mirrors? Can you see yourselves in them? Yeah. Everybody? Okay. Another thing that I do religiously, and my wife does it now too, and it's not easy for my wife all the time, and I guess it's not easy for me, but I've kind of started getting to know myself a little bit better, and now I understand that I am a badass motherfucker. Like, I wear a hat, I got a big gold and silver belt buckle that says it, that my wife bought. And I've learned that if I don't think that about myself, I may be the only one that ever does, you know? So I have to wake up every single day, and I want you guys to do this. I want you guys to look in the mirror, thank yourselves for being free another day, because that's fucking awesome. Motherfuckers trip out of this building all the time, and every other building in the state. I talk in other buildings too, and they trip out of these buildings, and they trip and fall and don't wake up. Or they trip and fall and they go on that road, which is way worse than not waking up. That road is long, guys. Long, dusty, windy, all the other good shit that country songs talk about that road. So, look. It's funny that I just said country songs. I met Struggle Jennings in a casino. And I walked by him and I said, "You fucking mad dogging me, homeboy?" And he's all, "What's up, man?" And I said, "Come here, motherfucker." And he was singing that night, right? So I hung out with him a little bit, and then we ended up having some shit happened at the casino. They kicked me out because of this hat. They kicked me out of the casino. I was wearing this hat. You know, now I got a case of these hats. So they kicked me out of the casino again. I'll just fucking put on another one. But I went and I met up with Struggle again, and I said, "Hey, they won't kick you out of the casino if you're wearing it. Will you please wear this hat?" Look on his Instagram. You'll see me and him, and he's wearing the hat in the casino. And then you'll also see that he, every so often, posts that hat, because we talked about it. We said, you can't even say you're a bad motherfucker or even be a bad motherfucker in this world without somebody trying to stop you. Don't let anybody stop you. And if you need help, go to somebody. Give the hat to Struggle. Give the hat to this guy. Do something where somebody else can take you the distance. Don't don't try to take it all on. You know what? Part of it makes me a badass is I find people that are better than me and badder than me to help me be a badass. It's a fucking great trait to have, guys. Ask for help. How many of you guys, raise your hand, can do everything? If I ask you to do anything, can you do everything? You can do everything. So I like that answer. I like that answer, and I'll tell you why. And I was hoping somebody would answer that. Because if he can't do it, is it still him doing it if he asks for help?
Yes.
Is he still getting it done?
Yes.
How many of you guys have not asked for help and ended up in prison? How many of you guys have not asked for help and ended up fucking broke and homeless? I did a stint of homeless, 13 to 17, I was homeless. And it sucks. Unless you find the good dumpsters and you know the times that Safeway's throwing their good shit out. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta be there right on time, you know? So you know, when I wake up every day, I look in the mirror. I implore you guys. I implore you guys, meaning I'm asking you guys, as brothers and sisters, look yourself in the mirror, tell yourself how grateful you are for one more day of sobriety, one more day of freedom, one more day of being you. You ever thought about that? Because there's not another one of you. You know what I mean? There's not another one of you. And whatever you're here for, and I'm not a Christian, I'm not a nothing. I don't even have a religion. But whatever you're here for, you're here for a reason. Because why the fuck would I be here? You know what I mean? Why would I be here? You know, why would it even be happening, guys? It is what it is. Embrace it, right? So, enough of the supernatural shit. So, just do that, guys. Talk to yourself in the mirror, be grateful every morning. Commit to yourselves, guys. I don't give a fuck how old or how young you guys are. It doesn't matter. I got out at 42 years old. I own fucking enough companies to get me about $9 or $10 million a year is what we're doing right now. We just did our taxes and all that kind of stuff, and that's what we're looking at. 9 or 10 million. Recently, I got to tell you though, I went into a contraction phase, because in a contraction phase meaning I had some fucked up shit going on. I had a HVAC company and I was building these marijuana facilities, right? And not the dispensaries where you guys go buy the weed and all that stuff. It was the big grow facilities, right? I did all the water cultivation stuff. I did all the hydronics, all that stuff. I did all the pump systems, all that stuff on the water side. But they actually signed a contract with me, and I was doing all the HVAC stuff because I went out and got a HVAC RLC license. I have 5 licenses now. And that license right there right away proved to be very lucrative. We did $3 million in 4 months. And then I didn't like the guy that was paying us the money. And I was like, well, I don't fucking like this guy. And I don't like the way he talks to my employees. And I don't like the way I have to jump through hoops for this man that doesn't respect my men or my company. And I broke it off with him. It probably cost me fucking, I don't know how much it cost me, but I didn't make any more money off him. You know what I mean? And so $3 million from that one customer in 4 months, and I broke it off with him. And I went into kind of a fucking poor me bullshit fucking stage, you know, for a second, like, goddamn, why couldn't I just sucked it up and took it in the ass by this guy? And you know why I can't? Because how can I wake up and look in the mirror every single day without getting cross-eyed or looking away and tell myself, you're a bad motherfucker. You're a bad motherfucker. If I fucking let this guy talk to my men, talk to me, deal with my company in a way that I didn't appreciate, right? And this guy's not doing fucking his burpees every morning. He don't give a fuck about commitment. He don't care about nothing. He ain't even licensed, you know? He was just one of those guys. So I went in that contraction phase, and I told my wife, I said, you know, it was nice fucking while it lasted. And she goes, what was nice about it? And I said, well, the money. And she goes, but we have money. And I said, yeah. She goes, so what was nice about it? You know, what was nice about it? Don't fucking, she said, something else will happen. Well, the next day I started getting into it and started calling management companies, and we signed a couple more contracts. They'll probably be $3 or $4 million a year. So we did something, you know. I went from contraction to expansion overnight, guys. And I signed a couple of contracts with these big commercial management companies, and it's all good now. So understand that when you guys go through shit, you guys will fucking argue with fucking one of these guys, and he'll fucking get loud with you and say you're not fucking trying and this and that. And you're probably not trying if he's telling you that, because he knows what trying is, and so do you. And you'll get down on yourself, and you'll go back to your room, and you'll be like, fuck this, I want to quit. I would rather be back in prison. I've said it many times. Prison's easy for us, guys. It's so easy. They fucking bring your food to your cell. If you get in enough trouble, they bring your food right to your cell. You don't even have to walk 2 feet to the shower if you get in enough trouble. And that's fucking great. You don't even have to put clothes on. I mean, it's awesome. You don't have to fold clothes. You don't have to be in compliance if you get in enough trouble. Prison's easy, especially for the cool guys. So, look, guys, and with that, guys, keep in mind, it's not the snake bite that kills you, guys. It's the running after the snake to catch the motherfucker that sends that poison to your heart, right? Think about that for a minute. It's not the fucking little stupid thing, him yelling at you, that poisons you. It's you fucking making a big deal about it and letting it own you, And a lot of times that's what we do, guys. We're convicts are notorious for being creatures of pride, Fuck you, I'll do it myself. Who said that and then ended up in prison? Fuck you, I can do it. Fuck you, you know what I mean? I don't need you. Who said that and then ended up in prison? Who thinks they need somebody right now? If you didn't raise your hand, I understand. We're in a room full of our peers, and we're trying to be cool. I understand. We're trying to not fucking be weak. Be weak. Be weak as long as it takes to become strong, guys. Be weak. Have a trainer. Train like an athlete. To be a badass out here. Train like an athlete to fucking succeed out here. That's what I do. I train every day. I watch YouTube videos on my crafts. I don't know anything about HVAC, but I have an HVAC license in my name, guys. And I have it assigned to my entities. How? Well, I studied it. I trained like an athlete. And I fucking learned the shit, and I took the test, and now I have, and 2 months later, we signed it to an entity, and that entity did $3 million in 4 months. Think about that for a minute. I'm just a fucking convict, guys. But I trained to get it done. So always remember that, guys. It's not the snake bite that kills you. It's how you fucking handle the snake bite. Fuck the snake, it already bit you. Don't chase it down, guys. Don't chase it down. Fucking water off a duck's back, guys. Don't take it so fucking serious. Don't be so prideful. Convicts are prideful. That's why you fucking put it on you. People tattoo it on them. We're all guilty of it. We're all guilty of fucking, I want to get my letters and this, that. When I went to prison, it was about fucking, how many people can I hurt in order to get all these letters? I was around the guys that fucking made you do what you had to do to get your shit, you know what I mean? And I actually kind of liked that fucking system. Until they started wanting you to join up and do things where there was other rules and like commitments, where your morality gets involved. And that's how it is out here too, right? I'm working for this guy. We made a bunch of money, but morality got involved. Do we really want to fucking be in bed with people that aren't good for us? No. And that brings me to a fucking another subject, guys. Don't fucking get out here and fucking start listening to these fucking people, and you guys all will have this happen while you're here. You're gonna sit across in this fucking beautiful kitchen in here where they cook really good food that I can't even come here and eat because I don't eat like that anymore, but I would love to. So you guys should chop it up as much as you can right now. But you're gonna sit across from somebody that hasn't done what they're talking about, and they're gonna be giving you advice. No, seriously. It happens all the time in prison. I heard dudes tell me, no bullshit, I heard dudes tell me how to steal cars. Probably 1,000 times. And you know what? I've been stealing cars since I was 14 years old. I considered myself the best. Fucking gross, right? I mean, but I consider myself the best. And I had guys tell me all these crazy things and all this shit. And I'm like, this motherfucker's never stole a car in his life. But I had guys tell me stuff like, don't start your own business from scratch. Right? And I was like, why are you telling me that? Well, it's not a good idea. Well, did you start a business from scratch? No. So how the fuck do you know? Did you fail at a business or something? Why do you tell me that? That's what I ask them. And I've had multiple people tell me that. Well, you guys know the story. I started a business from scratch. That business was from scratch. My buddy Bo was between jobs. He was an HVAC guy. I hired him, and fucking there it was, $3 million 4 months later. What the fuck? Like, how does that, and all the while this guy saying, oh, don't start an HVAC company from scratch. You just can't make it. You won't be able to make it. Really? Well, that's fucking fucked up advice, Then I've had guys say, don't go out and purchase companies because you don't know what their past was and stuff like that. Well, I bought 2 companies in the last year, and one I paid $30,000 for it. Thanks to coming here, I fucking left this place so fucking fired up. I went fucking chasing companies and bought a company. Literally made an offer, negotiated, and bought a fucking company days after I left here. I fucking could not sleep the one night I came here because of all of the energy in this room. Because there wasn't people lying to themselves in that room. Who thinks there's people that wake up every day, do their day in this room, and lie to themselves all day? Who thinks that there's people in here doing this?
Yeah, man.
Don't do that, guys. Don't lie to anybody else and don't lie to yourself. Don't do that. If you're hurting, tell the person you trust that you're hurting. If you don't trust somebody, well, then you're around the wrong people. You're talking to the wrong people. I don't trust nobody. I hear it all the fucking time. Really? Well, then why are you hanging out with the people you're hanging out? Why are you even talking to those people? Because I don't even talk to people I don't trust. Right? I don't go into fucking detail about things and sit at a dinner table. Cypress Hill said, if you don't need them, you don't feed them. You guys know who Cypress Hill is? Yeah. I fucking love that song. But he said, hey, if you don't need them, you don't feed them. So that means you don't eat with them. You don't eat with them. You don't fucking break bread. You don't talk to them. So trust somebody, guys. It's all you got. Because you guys got nothing. Who's got $1 million in the bank? Raise your hand if you got $1 million in the bank. I'm sure there's some guys in here that does. But who in this room has $1 million in the bank? You don't. So we got to get there, right? Who wants $1 million in the bank? Seriously. If you don't, you're fucking nuts. If you don't, you're fucking nuts. I promise you. Right? I remember the days when I wanted to be a thousandaire when I got out. So look, guys, I talked about negotiation. I said something about negotiation, and I want to go into this fucking really, really fucking short. Everything you do in life is negotiation. I'm negotiating with you guys right now. I want you guys' futures to be sound. I want you guys to do something similar to what the rest of us have done. You don't have to do what we've done, but it's a good blueprint. It's a good blueprint to follow. You know we did it. And we're telling you about it. And you can look us up. And you can come and work for our companies. And you can do that kind of stuff. You can go to Equine Therapy, where this guy's got a proven track record. It's not a guy across the street or across the table with the lasagna in front of him, fucking eating 5 pounds of lasagna telling you about fucking dietary advice. You know what I mean? And it happens every day in this world, you guys. So don't steer yourself by what other people do. Keep your negotiation happening at all times. If you walk into a place and you want a job and you fucking in your mind are saying, if you hadn't been in the mirror that morning saying, I'm a badass motherfucker, and if you hadn't convinced yourself, you will walk in there like this. David Schwartz, 1964, talks about how you walk with posture. The Magic of Thinking Big. Who read that book in prison? No, I guess I'm the only one. But I got it fucking sitting on my fucking dining room table right now. I'm going to read it again. Huh?
There's only one copy. You have it.
Okay, yeah, I guess I got it. Well, when we have that conversation over the lasagna and I trust you, we'll go to my house and read it. But listen, so, when you walk in there and you've already convinced yourself that they don't hire convicts.
Oh, there you go.
Right? You've already convinced yourself, well, as soon as I tell them I've been to prison, it's over. As soon as I fucking sign this thing that says, have you ever been convicted of a felony? It's over. Fuck that shit. Walk in there and fucking understand that man has all the same fucking emotions and feelings and the doubts and everything that you guys have. His are just different, right? He just wakes up and he's like, how am I going to keep my company running? Yours is like, how am I going to get a job? They're the same fucking vibe, man. It's the same feeling, guys. You and him are an equal. The only difference is he has something you want, and when somebody has something you want, you have two options in getting it, right, in this world. You can go back to what you were doing, guys, or you can take it from him, or you can negotiate. And the way you negotiate is how you present yourself, right? If you're a golden goose, well, then you're going to be there fucking 30 minutes early to the interview. If you're a golden goose, once you get the job, you're going to be there 30 minutes early, already have your fucking tools sitting there ready to load on a truck and get to work, right? If you're a golden goose, you're going to say whatever it takes multiple times in that interview. Hey, what will you do if this happens? What will you do if that happens? If the guy asks you this fucking question, say whatever it takes. I'll do whatever it takes, boss. I'll do whatever it takes. And then you tell him, listen, I will work for you for $18 an hour. In 90 days, I will prove to you that I'm worth $22 an hour. Will you give that to me if I prove it to you? How many people have ever done an interview like that? You got to do it like that, guys. You got to go in there and say, and it's all negotiation. When you talk to your wives, girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever, when you talk to these people, everything is negotiation. Everything in this world is negotiation. There is nothing else. When you're talking to somebody, if you come and you're like, hey, Kitty, so that plumbing company you got, we're negotiating. If you don't have a strong negotiation, what happens, guys? You fucking lose. It's a game, guys. It's a game. Everything you do is about negotiation. Make the fucking sell. Sell yourself. Because
10 minutes, Kenny, when you're back.
all right. So it's sell or be sold, right? It's sell or be sold. You either sell the person on yourself or you're a sellout, and you'll be sold. You'll be sold. You'll be bought, paid for, and sold. You guys understand that?
Yeah.
So, look, this world is a fucking full of ups and downs, guys, out here. It's fucking nuts. I never thought I'd be where I'm at. I never thought I would be where I'm at until I started thinking I would be where I'm at. Do you guys get that? I never thought I'd be where I'm at until I started actually seeing this, right? So I told my wife on my 2-year anniversary, guys, I want to talk to you guys. He was talking about credit. Please, guys, it's your word. Credit is your word. It's, I will pay you, and you got to pay that motherfucker. Pay them. Don't spend 10% of what you have in the bank. Do you guys understand that rule?
Yeah.
Just make it easy. If you got $10, guess what you can do? Spend a fucking dollar. If you spend more than $1, you're progressively going broke. Does any business people agree with that? Do you guys agree with all that? Any of you guys that are in business
I
agree
do
with that?
30%.
Grant Cardone, 20%.
I don't, my rule in my house for my kid and everything, my kid owns fucking Tesla stock, he owns Apple stock, he owns, these are the shit he wanted to buy, you know what I mean? Like he found it on his iPhone, he trades his stock, he's 12, guys. He's 12. He comes to me and he's like, Pops, I got fucking $1,154. I can spend freaking $115.40. I want to buy this fucking Roblox or whatever the fuck he's trying to buy, right? And I'm like, yeah, that's right. I'll give you a day to think about it. Do you really want to throw all that fucking money away? And then all you have is 9 and some change. And then you can only spend 90 the next time, bud. You know? And he's got a little job at this Mexican food restaurant where he works 1 day a week. And he's, he's doing dishes and all this kind of stuff. And he comes home and I say, okay, what are you going to do with your money? He said, I'm going to put it away. And I said, well, what is your goal for your money? Well, I want to fucking do this. I want to do that. I want to do this. And I said, okay, write it down. And remember, you can't spend more than 10% of what you got in the bank. And so he's always doing that math. Every time he wants to buy something, he goes and counts every bit of his money in his little safe, right? He's got a little safe. And you know what? I do it too. Mine's different. I just look at my fucking bank statement, you know what I mean? And if I have any cash in my safe, well, then I buy firearms. But and I don't fucking do it myself. But I'm not suggesting you guys do that, and fucking Mac would probably be mad that I said that. But look, I've negotiated with the world, and I've gotten my rights back, and I've gotten my freaking concealed weapons permit, and all that stuff, guys. And it meant, and another thing, Don't sit across the lasagna from the guy that tells you you can't get your rights back if you haven't been out a year, or all this bullshit. Fuck him. Don't listen to a word he says. I've gotten fucking 24 people their rights back. Some guys that fucking have rap sheets. I had 47 felonies. You know, the commissioner looked at me. He's like, how'd you get so many people to write letters for you and you got 47 felonies? And I was like, I've been negotiating with the world, Commissioner. And fucking that's what it is, okay? So guys, always be negotiating. Understand that when I shake your hand, I want you to fucking be thinking, fuck this dude, I'm way better than this dude. Please think that when you shake my hand. Please think that when you shake anybody's hand. I don't give a fuck if they got $1 billion or if they're fucking poor and in the streets. Shake their hand like you're fucking better than them and treat them like you're equals, okay? The confidence is very, very important. If you walk with posture, you act with posture, and you do things the way that they're supposed to be done, guys, that means don't break the rules. If the fucking speed limit says 65, for a little bit, guys, when you first get out, so you fucking don't have to spend more than 10% of what's in your bank account, just go 65. And then, you know, I got a fucking ticket for 92 and a fucking 65 the other day, and I can afford to pay it, guys, so I'm okay with it, you know. And the guy asked me, are you in a hurry? And I said, depends on what you mean by that. And he goes, well, you got a job to go to? I was in a work truck, you know. And I said, no, I just bought this truck. And I'm driving it, and I'm listening to Grant Cardone on the radio, and I feel great, and I want to fucking be first today. That's what I told him. And he went back, he walked almost back to his truck to run my ID, and he noticed that he had a my CCW card and because I give it to the cops, you know. He came back, he goes, what do you carry? And I said I carry a 365 XL. He said, and he had one of those sheriff jackets on, he goes, me too. And I was like, fuck, I never met a cop that carried one of those guns. And he goes, I'm going to give you a break today. Why did he do that? I was just honest with him. And I love it. So 3 things, guys. 3 things that you have to have. Patience. Slow the fuck down. This was told to me early on. A job and a nest egg. Save that money, guys. Save that money. 2 years after I got out, I got the keys. On my anniversary of getting out, I got the keys to my home. I bought a 5-acre ranch with a 2,000 square foot house. I sold that house three years later for $500,000 more than I paid for it, guys. The fucking real estate market was fucking awesome then. You know what I mean? I literally, it was awesome. I saw they put $500,000 in our account. You know what I mean? It was neat to see that. You know? Because I was, you know, I had some money in the bank, guys, but it was neat to see that because when it was all said and done, I was celebrating my 2nd year out, 2nd year of freedom. Shit, I wasn't even shutting doors yet. Anybody doing that? Not shutting doors, not shutting water off. Those are 2 things that fucking people don't fucking realize, right? I wasn't even shutting all the doors yet, and I was getting the keys to my own. Let that sink in, guys. Because every single one of you, if you came to me separately and said, hey, put me on the path to buy a home in 2 years, I could put you on that path. Every fucking one of you guys can buy a home in 2 years. Do you guys all agree with that?
Yeah,
agree with that?
I'm right there. I've been out 2 years.
All of these guys work with convicts all the time.
100%.
You guys could come to me and I could put you on the path. I don't give a fuck. You could tell me every excuse. Oh, I owe child support. Well, I owe child support. I owe fines. I owed fines. I fucking don't have a trade. Really, I didn't have a fucking trade. I faked like I was a plumber for years before I actually went and got a journeyman license. I trained like an athlete. I trained like my life depended on it. Guys, who wants a home in 2 years? Who wants to own a home? Who wants to have the key for once, man? Like I spent 17 fucking years in there hearing other people jingle around with keys and shit, opening fucking doors for me, telling me to get in there, telling me I had to shut my door, telling me when to go in that door. And in 2 years, I decided I wanted to have the key. I wanted to own it, and if I want to fucking leave the door open, I'll leave it fucking open. And I did a lot. To the fridge, to the truck, to the car, to the Connex, to the shed. Fucking all the doors were always open. It's still like that. It's still like that. I fucking refuse. I refuse. You know? And I don't even lock my doors at home. I just have cameras everywhere. You know? So look, guys, when it's all said and done, it don't matter fucking what you know, how many excuses you have. You know, that's another chapter in fucking Magic of Thinking Big. You guys should read that book. It's Excuse-itis. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy that says my back hurts, I can't do my burpees. Why? Your back already hurts. Fucking do the burpees, guys. Do the fucking burpees, you know? Train. Train like you're fucking an athlete. 3 things you need to be successful out here: transportation, a job, and a place to sleep between, right? You need transportation. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be a skip, it could be a run, a bike, a car, a cab, a fucking something. Get to the fucking job. You don't need to get anywhere else. You don't need to get anywhere else, guys. You need a bed. You need to sleep. So, a way to get there, and a place to sleep when you're not there, and the job. Those are the only 3 things you need. You don't need a wife, you don't need a girlfriend, you don't need sex, you don't need any of that shit. You don't need any of that shit. They're weaknesses. And you know what? It's okay to be, I said this early on, it's okay to be weak sometimes. But don't allow those things to take you away from the job. Because the job and the work that you do and the money, again, money buys it, guys. Money buys happiness. You ever see, I mean, Will Smith, you see him cry because he's a weird motherfucker, but I mean, but you ever see those rich fuckers go up there and fucking, and you know, they're smiling, you know, all those actors at the Grammys and all that shit. They have so much money, they're making couches out of the bundles of money to sit on, you know, just to do it, you know what I mean? They're fucking throwing money away. You know, I met a guy the other day, he flies a helicopter for this billionaire that I do work for, and he said, you know, they had me fly from their yacht to a glacier so they could have lunch. I was like, what? I said, I'd love to have just the money that it took to get the fucking yacht out there. Not even the yacht, just the gas that got the yacht out there.
That's it.
You know, I mean, fuck. You know, so, and then you meet these billionaires and he's like, man, I hate wearing tuxedos, you know? Like he hates wearing tuxedos, but he's gonna fly from a fucking yacht in the fucking ocean to a fucking glacier to have lunch, you know? Just stupid shit, you know what I mean? Money is fucking cool. Don't be that guy or that girl that says, I'm not gonna be controlled by money. You are controlled by money. This world floods, the people with money will buy oxygen tanks. I guarantee it. The people with money will be fucking watching bodies float by with their oxygen mask on. Okay? You have to have it. It is as important as oxygen. So don't be at your job fucking around with your phone. It's gonna affect your money, guys. If I show up to a job and I see one guy working and one guy looking at a phone, that guy better be fucking putting some information on the job because my guys are all on a CRM on their phones. If I walk up on him and I'm like, hey, what are you, Facebooking? And they're not Facebooking, guess what? See you later, motherfucker. We're not Facebooking here. That's not what we get paid to do. You know? And if he is Facebooking, he better be my marketing guy. Right? So listen, guys, just take it serious, man. Take it serious like you're doing brain surgery. Take it serious like your life depends on it. If you don't have money, you won't eat. If you don't have money, you won't feed your kids. If you don't have money, you can't fucking take a step because you can't buy shoes. In Arizona, sidewalks are too hot. So fucking work and make money. And negotiate throughout the whole, I was making $15 under the table, right? I was making $15 under the table. Never take an under the table deal, guys. Be on the books so you can show your mortgage guy. So we can buy that house in 2 years. So you can have that credit. If you buy something on credit and you don't pay it, it's like when your buddy says, let's go get this motherfucker, and he goes that way, and you go and you get fucking caught up, right? That's the same thing if you guys want to put it in a prison fucking atmosphere type of thing. So, guys, last thing I'm going to say to you guys is something that a guy that I follow, and he's not for everybody, so I'm not even going to say his name.
I'll let him know about him.
But he's a guy that I follow, and he was in prison for 10 years, and he does. And I actually had a conversation with him about 2 months ago, about an hour-long conversation with him, and he's just a fucking dick. But he makes about $3 million a month now, just making content. He has no fucking talents, you guys. Do you agree with that?
That's Nina.
He's just a smart fucking guy that trained like an athlete to develop himself. But he wrote something on his rack, and he talks about it all the time. And before he got out of prison, he got out 5 years ago, and he's doing $3 million a month right now. And it's the real deal, because that's why he called me, because I got a text to join his program, and I said, I'd rather not talk to a robot. And he called me immediately. He said, I do this shit myself, motherfucker. And I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, he's real.
Anyway, he wrote on there, become the person that you admire and give that person to the world. Think about that. Just be who figure out who the guy is that you want to be. If you want to be like Giles, ask Giles how he got there. Don't go ask some guy that's not Giles and hasn't done it. Please, guys, do not follow motherfuckers that have never been there. Do not do that. That's the biggest mistake that convicts make when they get out. They go fucking listen to some guy that says, you'll never get a fucking job. You'll never get your rights back. You'll never this. You'll never get your license. Women can't fucking do shit when they get out of prison. I know a chick that fucking came from that Televerde. She owns a marketing company right now. The marketing company that markets for my company. I've known her since I was a kid. She went from Televerde. Were you in Perryville? So you know what Televerde is? She came from Televerde. Right now, she owns a company that probably does $10 million a year. And she's really not that fucking smart. I've known her my whole life, I can say that. You know? But she learned some shit from that, and that was her wheelhouse. And she knew that the people that were teaching her that knew how to do it, so she could do it. She learned it, and she trained like an athlete, built a company, and she built, and now she does fucking really good for herself. Guys, I could go on and on. I'm going to come here again probably in a week and check on you guys and see how empty the room is. But listen, guys, this is a blessing for you guys, and if you guys don't take it that way, well, then you guys should stop now. No, straight up. Don't waste it. Don't let Giles come up here and scream. Don't let me come up here and scream. Don't have these guys come from their businesses. I mean, he's out of New River over there. That's fucking all the way across town. I come all the way from Wickenburg to come and see you guys. And listen, I come because, you know what? I will see one or two of you guys will come to my company, and me and Jay sit back, and we'll fucking memorize everything you say in that interview, and we'll hire you, and a year later I'll be talking about how you guys are doing $200,000 a year, and you guys will be like, fucking, Kenny, I don't know if I want to buy the Duramax or the Denali, and fucking, that will be your problem. That would be your problem. You know? Think about that. So guys, listen, please, let's fucking have that conversation in a year. Who wants to commit to having that conversation with me in a year? Calling me in a year and saying, Kenny, I don't know if I want the Denali or the Duramax fucking AR4. You guys all good with that? All right, listen, guys. I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys allowing me to come out because it's neat to see guys that were in my position one day. And you know what? You guys are just seeds right now. You guys are just seeds. Find water. Find water, guys. Yeah. That's all I got. Thank you.